Welcome to The Wireless Way, where wired meets wireless and connectivity becomes strategy. I'm your host, Chris Whitaker, and each episode explores the technologies changing how businesses connect, communicate, and compete. From mobility, IoT, and AI to cloud, cybersecurity, networking, and the intelligent edge, we talk with the leaders shaping what's next. If you're a technology advisor, IT leader, channel partner, or innovation builder, you're in the right place. So plug in, tune in, and join us as we identify the way, map the way, and lead the way. This is The Wireless Way. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of The Wireless Way. I'm your host, Chris Whitaker, and as always, so grateful that you're here. Grateful for my guest. My guest today is Shawn Mills, the CEO and partner at Pisteo, a management consulting firm focused on helping organizations turn artificial intelligence from an idea into real business results. I think so many of us are interested in how that works. Shawn is a technology entrepreneur and operator with more than 2 decades of experience leading digital transformation and building companies. He founded Lunavi and grew it to 6 offices and roughly 200 employees across North America, serving more than 300 SMB and Fortune 500 organizations, and completing 7 strategic acquisitions. Today, through Pisteo, Shawn is focused on helping organizations move beyond the AI hype, a lot of that out there, developing practical strategies, enabling their teams, and putting AI to work in ways that improve productivity, innovation, and business performance. It sounds like a lot of effectiveness and efficiency talk going on there. Shawn is also a recognized technology and business leader, having been named Colorado CEO of the Year and receiving Colorado Entrepreneurial Excellence Award. Shawn, welcome to The Wireless Way.
Great. Thanks, Chris. It's great to be here.
Shawn, so that's your bio. That's what we know about you. I'm glad we're able to get together. Thanks for being here.
No, I love it. It's super exciting. We've had the fortunate over the last 3 years to meet with tons of folks, mostly C-suite executives, leaders of organizations that are really trying to figure out what does it mean to be on an AI journey. And is it a tech challenge? Is it a people challenge? Is it a tooling challenge? The answer is it's all the above. So super excited to be here.
Yeah, excellent. Well, as always, my first question to everyone, we have your professional bio about your professional journey, but what's not the bio? What can you share with us about, how you got here? Maybe something might surprise us.
One of the things I love to do is share with people kind of a little bit of a glimpse into my background. I love adventure. So what's not in my bio is all of the things I do when I'm not working. I love to hike. I had the fortunate opportunity to go to Nepal, to Peru, to surf in all of these different countries. So when somebody talks to me at a personal level, we generally always go to, what was your last adventure, Shawn?
Wow. So what was your last adventure?
Well, my very specific last adventure was to Costa Rica. Had the opportunity to go to Nasara and Tamarindo to do a little surfing, a little ATVing with our family, and we had a great trip.
Are you a scuba diver too?
Well, funny, I forgot scuba diving, and we also went scuba diving.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I done. So have you done skydiving?
No, I have not done that yet, but it is absolutely on my bucket list.
It should be. It is a natural high. I do like hiking myself. I need to work on that. I don't do it enough. But probably one of my most favorite adventures a few years ago, my son and I went out to Zion National Park and did a 3-day trail hike, backpacking and everything. And it was amazing. And it was kind of life changing. That's a beautiful park, right? So we got to go do some international stuff. I haven't done that yet, but we've done some segment hiking on the Appalachian Trail on the East Coast. That's good stuff, man. You're right. We work hard. You got to play hard. I think a lot of people sometimes forget, however hard you work, you should probably play that hard as well, right? To kind of keep your sanity and keep you well-rounded, right?
Yeah, I usually come back from a vacation more tired than I left.
I guess you did it right. You did it right. So let's get back on the career, the journey around AI technology. Tell us more about, how did that begin? Have you always been a techie? Where did this begin and to get to where you are today? What's that journey look like?
That's a great question. So for me, I started my career in finance. So I was a investment banking, corporate finance person, worked at American Airlines, worked in student loan finance, worked in London for a little bit at an investment bank over there. And so, the finance background gave me a super solid understanding of what does it mean to really run a business, leveraging the numbers behind the business, and took that perspective on running a business and really focus then on sales and marketing because as I think about what any company is, for all intents and purposes, it's a sales and marketing company that happens to do whatever it is you do. If you can't sell and market your product, you really don't have a business. And so really turn that into a combo of make sure you understand what it means to drive revenue in a responsible way, to take that to the four different companies I've run over the last 25 years, started three of, acquired seven companies along the way, and just had an amazingly fun journey. And I think about all the various things that I've done, and I probably have had an MBA in four different distinct fields over that course of my career. And so it's been such a great opportunity.
I love talking to guys like you because I always find the answer to this next question, is always interesting. So through all those years of different businesses and startup environments, whatnot, surely things didn't always go right. I mean, what did you learn from that? I mean, what can you share with us for those that are still trying to figure out their way and in their business and their career? I mean, is there lessons learned you can share with folks?
I think back a lot about how did I get where I am today? And probably the number one answer is leverage people that want to help you. And people generally actually want to help if you ask. And so one of the fallacies of an entrepreneur's journey is that it's super lonely and you're just cranking it out on your own. Use your network, use your relationships. Most people, literally, I can probably only count one or two people in the last 25 years that have been like, wow, that wasn't helpful. But most people are there to be helpful. And so to you, really the heart of your question, which was what have you failed at? The short answer is a lot. But fortunately, I've had people alongside me along the journey that helped me step over potholes, turn corners right when I was thinking to go left. So, surrounding yourself with great people is probably the number one lesson I learned along the way.
Well, no, that makes a lot of sense, and I agree with that. I mean, I heard a cliche once that said, "If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough." Because sometimes people don't fail because they don't take the risk or the gamble, right? I mean, take entrepreneur, you gotta take some gambles, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some moments you're like, "I hope this is gonna work."
My kids might, if you ask my kids what is one of dad's favorite sayings, they would say, If you're not falling, you're not learning." And, we're a big skier family. And so we love to ski a lot. And as they were growing up, that was probably one of the mottos of our family as we were skiing, that you're right. You have to fall to learn, and you have to stumble or else you don't, learn all the things that you could learn in your life.
Fantastic. Wow. Now you're not kidding, you are an event so yeah, you love some adventure. Have you been that way? Like, were you raised that way with as a kid? Did you have a lot of skiing, hiking, and scuba diving in your life? I'm just curious.
So we did grow up skiing. But I wouldn't say I was an adventure seeker until my job at American Airlines. So in American Airlines, worked in corporate finance, and you get flight benefits. And so for the very first year working with American Airlines, I think I was probably on a plane no less than 35 times that year, going everywhere from like Machu Picchu to Alaska to Paris, and just had the amazing opportunity to see what it means to travel. And then behind that travel came all the adventures.
Wow. That's awesome. And it's probably fair to say you're probably not the stereotypical corporate finance guy. Is that fair to say?
Probably very fair. A lot of times the corporate finance guys are staring at numbers and, really focused on the nitty gritty. And while I could do that and it was great, I'm going to give a segue into, and I've made many financial models in my life. AI now can build the most insane financial models. And it just shocks me thinking back to how many hours and late nights I had in investment banking, corporate finance, building financial models. And now speaking to Claude or Copilot to build me a financial model from scratch that I can then tweak is one of the most insane things that's out there. If you grew up when I grew up doing the things I had to deal with.
Man, you're not kidding. I know pre-show we were talking about that and being a technology enthusiast, I'll call myself, and trying to help, my partners identify gaps or where they're missing revenue opportunities and all. The benefits that I get between Claude and Copilot now, exactly. It should take me 4 to 8 hours to create this massive pivot table, multi-tab. I mean, man, I'd help you if you copy and paste one formula in the wrong spot or you had one digit off. Man, now what you can do with these tools is amazing. So yeah, let's jump into that. I mean, I want to talk to you about your company. I mean, in fact, I was talking to one of your colleagues being a podcast host, I love the questions like, "Hey, man, your company name sounds really cool. How did you get to Pisteo?" And I love this answer, but I want to hear it from you. Tell how did Pisteo come about in the name, and then go into what are you focusing on? What are you doing to help companies grow?
Well, I'd be curious to see what he told you was the history of the name. And so there's the public version, which we'll share, and the private version, and
Oh,
we'll go
okay.
ahead and share that
I'm
as
hoping
well.
I got the public version. I don't know, but I guess actually, the origin of the word, I don't think he gave me, but I guess he was saying you guys were talking about making a clothing line for adventure seekers, like, to compete
Yeah.
with all the other brands out there. Because it does kind of sound cool. Hey, what brand jacket is that? It's a Pisteo, So yeah, what is that close?
So that's the true story. So he gave you the true story, which
Okay.
is I was living in Jackson Hole for several years, and in Jackson Hole, backcountry skiing is a big thing. And so when you go backcountry skiing, it's called going off piste, right? And so
Ah, that's right.
when you
Yes.
go skiing off piste, basically you're putting your life on the line. You're going down a run that, may or may not slide. And so at the top of the mountain, I yelled "Piste, yo," and which basically was just silly. And so then once I yelled that, I was like, huh, that could be a brand, a ski brand or a clothing brand, adventure clothing brand. So I went and registered that about literally probably 22 years ago. And then just as we were looking for names for this new venture, I had it in my domain registry of things that I own. I was like, I don't know what this means, so I should probably make sure it doesn't mean something rude or, offensive in some language somewhere. And fortunately for us, Pisteo means actually belief in Greek. So there is a
Hmm.
nice story that can be had around, look, there's a lot that you can do with AI. And, we have the belief that it can help your organization continue to grow. It can help your organization attack markets you weren't able to attack before. And so it all kind of worked together to create the story of Pisteo.
Fantastic. Now I love it. So continue that line of, the state of the industry as it comes to AI. What do you see in the business place? Where are we? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10 being where we're going to end up, I mean, where are we on that lifeline, you think?
Yeah. So Pisteo is a management consulting firm first and foremost. And
Okay.
so we love to come into organizations helping them solve their business challenge. So a lot of times folks will talk about AI as the technology tool and some technology that you need to bring into the organization. We really approach it from the exact opposite perspective. It's that, look, this is a strategy challenge. Your business generally needs to continue to grow. You want to operate more efficiently. So we believe that being a management consulting company first to align your business strategy to the capabilities of AI is the key. The big challenge in the middle there are all of us, right? Like the people. those of us that have lived our lives and have the experiences we have and have great experiences with technology, have terrible experiences with technology, our willingness to adopt change is challenging. And so we really saw that as the key enabler to companies being successful leveraging AI. So, and why we start with management consulting is that starting with the CEO and the leadership team, aligning them to what is their strategy and how could AI help them, then help them bring their teams along with them and develop a strategy that can really move the needle. We do deliver solutions. We build automations, we build AI agents, we build AI coded apps. So we do deliver technology solutions for clients. And so really, we kind of think of ourselves as a boutique management consulting firm. While boutique, we're about 40. So we're not the AI guy in the closet that hey, I got my AI guy. We bring super strong talent. All of our partners have run businesses. So we would love to say and live the fact that we've lived in the CEO, COO, CFO, CMO shoes and know what the challenges of HR are to then align with the CTO and CIO for success.
Do you see a common thread or trend when you're talking to these C-levels when it comes to all the topics you just kind of mentioned? Or is it every company has a different problem to solve, but or is there similarities?
It's funny, I get to do keynotes quite a bit, and there are 100% themes. And the themes are almost always the CEO or the board. If it's the board, they're on a bunch of different companies and they've learned of things that another CEO is talking about. And they're like, hey, we at my other company need to implement what this company is doing. And so there's a lot of board pressure on CEOs to figure this out, which then translates into CEOs having FOMO, fear of missing out,
Mhm.
while the CEO that probably spread that rumor actually wasn't doing the things that they said they were doing. And at the leadership level, they're really still trying to figure it out. Some organizations are moving very quickly and are moving successfully, but those are more few and far between than you might imagine. And so the commonality is that it's usually this board telling the CEO, CEO's talking to the CTO, CIO, and saying, hey, figure this out. And the CIO or CTO says, oh, well, I guess I better figure this out. The board's asking for it. And then they go run off and buy tools and try to solve problems with buying NVIDIA just because NVIDIA is a word that everybody knows when they don't have, they haven't identified any use cases yet and understand what can this thing do. And people say the word AI and it means different things across 10 different people. And so the common challenges here is really aligning to what does this mean? Understand the opportunities before you go build, then go build and bring the teams along with you to ensure that there's adoption. There's a big challenge right now of passive resistance of AI inside organizations. And so we think that, we have a scale framework that we work through with our clients that helps companies align strategy with change, leveraging the right AI tools, ensuring the leadership team comes along, and then educating your people. And that E at the end is, really the key. If you don't bring your teams along with you, there will be a ton of massive resistance, passive resistance that you can't see. And then you launch your initiative and people don't adopt it and you spend $30 million and all of a sudden the CFO is asking, why are we not seeing more adoption? And right at the baseline, the E was forgotten and nobody brought the team along with them through education and enablement.
Yeah, bring the team along with you. And I like where you kind of started too, management consulting, because I was just thinking, the foundation of the organization is that leadership level. And if there's challenges there or gaps there, layering on an AI strategy, that's not going to fix it necessarily. It may compound it, right? I mean, and we're talking earlier too, pre-show about one of my dad's favorite quotes. As a home builder, he said, "Always use the right tool for the right task at the right time." I didn't tell you that part, but timing is important. So, yeah, I can imagine you have to understand the management environment, right? The leaders, the philosophy, the culture, and again, education. That's yeah. I was sharing another story where you pre-show. Education is so important. If people don't understand what the unintended consequences could be, you could have a problem. Interesting. what size companies or do you find benefit the most from your services? Is it enterprise only or is it a wide range?
So where we fit with our sale size and scale is really kind of in the upper mid-market. So the like 200 million to 1 to 2 billion, they're not so bureaucratic that they can't get stuff done. So they generally still have the ability to move relatively quickly. So we kind of find ourselves playing there. They're complicated enough that they really need the additional support of a consulting firm to help them navigate this world. So that's kind of our sweet spot. But the interesting thing about AI is the small companies actually get an disproportionate advantage that they never had access to before. And we really love working with 10, 20, 30, $100 million companies because all of a sudden, in an organization, there's, different ways that you can pull levers. You can have capital, right? You have customers, you have, intelligence and, capital for smaller companies is oftentimes not just we have so much money, let's go hire, you know, BCG or McKinsey to come help solve some business problem. Now that layer of intelligence is accessible to all companies. And so now they literally have the ability to be just as smart, but much more nimble and many, many times closer to their customers than the big companies that they can punch way above their weight and capture market share and enter new business lines that they were thinking about entering with a lot less risk. And so they seem to get a disproportionate benefit just because they're scrappy and can move more quickly than the larger organizations.
We'll be right back.
Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood for surgeries, cancer treatment, chronic illness, and traumatic injuries. Yet, only 3% of eligible Americans donate each year, leaving hospitals struggling to keep enough blood on the shelves. One blood donation can save up to 3 lives. With your help, we can make sure life-saving blood is ready before it's needed. If you're healthy and able, please roll up a sleeve and donate. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to find a drive or donation center near you. Donate blood saves lives. It's easy, safe, and one of the most generous things you can do. Yeah, I was going to ask you who's winning with AI. I think you kind of answered. I mean, it's even SMB level now. They have access to some of the great tools that would only generally would reserve for that enterprise level, but everyone kind of has it's kind of is it leveling the playing field, do you think? Is it helping businesses maybe launch faster and maybe even startups are benefiting from it? Is that fair to say?
Oh, big time. So my team hears me say this all the time that I'm like literally the smartest person on the planet as long as I have access to AI. I'm just an average schmo without it, with the experiences that I have. But the thing that people don't understand at all levels of any organization, if they turn the lens to, I have access to literally the smartest thing that's ever been invented that can make me so much more efficient, so much more effective if I have that right mindset, right? Like having the mindset of growth and that I can accomplish anything is probably, semi unique, right? Everybody doesn't have that. But, you know, helping folks understand that they could take wherever they are in life and leverage AI to be able to accomplish pretty much anything in a time frame that is so compressed is incredible.
It really is. I have an idea of an answer here, but I'm going to resist saying it. I'm going to hear you say, "Hey, what is a common mistake you find people or businesses encounter when it comes to using any AI tool? Is there a common thread you're seeing that you're most often have to help people, talk them off the ledge or help them unravel their mess?
It's always literally the same one. I bought a tool and I gave it to my team. Go. Like either I bought a tool or I built a tool using AI or leveraging AI. And it's like, this is the greatest thing ever. Everyone, you're expected to use this. Start. And then that's it. And then it fails miserably. We were fortunate to be brought into a Fortune 500 organization that spent $15 million on an AI tool, a chat agent for their partners. Zero adoption. Like people would use it for 5 minutes, they would get frustrated, and they would never use it again. It was a great tool, but nobody was enabled on it. They didn't understand how it would been, what's in it for them. So they brought us in to help fix that situation. And so now there's 75% adoption inside of their user base. And it's a tool that they're really excited that they've launched, and there's real ROI for their users. But that failure to bring the team along with you, enable the team, is by far the biggest thing that we usually have to unravel. Is I bought a tool. The CEO said, we need everyone to have Claude. Nobody knows how to use Claude. So it just drops on its face. And so that's usually the challenge we see first and
Wow.
foremost.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's definitely the macro level. Maybe in my example, I was saying it was more micro of prompt engineering. My biggest frustration in learning to use ChatGPT, I guess, what, 3 or 4, has it been 4 years maybe?
Mm,
Less than 5, right?
Way less than 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe three and a
in,
half,
in a,
4.
in a adopted way, or a intelligent way. Yeah. Was it there 5 years ago? Yes. Did the masses think about it? It's probably a 2023 time
Got it.
frame,
That's fair. Okay. You're right. I tell,
but
I
it
feel like
feels like it was 10 years ago.
it kind of does. That's what I feel like I live in a time warp. I mean, was it last week or last year we talked? I don't remember. It's such a time warp when you're always on the go. But prompt engineering, so I learned the hard way, especially when you go to ChatGPT and you ask it for X. It gives you X and you go, oh, by the way, you want me to do A, B, and C? I'm like, well, yeah, do A, B, and C. Gives you A, B, and C. Hey, you know what? I could add D, E, and F too. You want me to do that? Well, sure. So then I think maybe I should just ask that to begin with. I should have made the initial prompt. Hey, give me A through F. Because then you realize too, it's like egging you on to use up all your tokens. So in the free version, it's like I'm going to keep stringing you along and spoon feeding you answers until it's like, oh, wait, you want the final answer? Oh, you need to upgrade.
We live AI as an organization. And I think you asked the question a little bit earlier, where are we in the
Yeah.
AI journey? We are in inning 2, realistically. And fortunately for us at the macro level, but unfortunately, we're never getting to the end of the ball game. Like literally never. The gap between our knowledge, which you just shared, your experience with prompting, and AI's capability. So we're able to grow, at a pace of, on a scale of 1 to 10, we're growing at a 3, right? But AI is growing at a 10. And so we're never going to, in the near term, we're not going to be able to close the gap of our knowledge and understanding what AI can do and how it can be implemented anytime soon. The gap of, even inside of our team, we live this every day. We listen to podcasts all day, like our entire team. Fortunately, we have a large team, and we have figured out Fridays where literally the team comes together and shares with their latest learnings. Without that figure out Friday and constantly learning, it'd be very hard to stay on the edge of what AI's capabilities are. And so just getting started, listening and learning, you have to consistently continue to learn, or that gap will keep growing as it's going at a 10 pace and we're only growing at a 3 pace.
And another thought I had while you're talking to, is AI. I feel like it's one or two things. AI is making us as humans better, or is it making us lazier? Because like that the analytical thing. Because sometimes that's my concern about humanity. I'm like, you know, I don't want to lose the skill of thinking on my own and having analytical thoughts and really problem solving instead of everything goes, well, let's see what chat says or let's see what Claude says. What are your thoughts on that? Is there a risk of that, or is that just an individual discipline we have to create?
So I think about the book Great CEOs Are Lazy a lot. You can accomplish a lot more through tools or through people than you can on your own, right? And so,
Mm.
in my opinion, AI is another teammate for the organization that you can accomplish way more than you're ever going to be able to accomplish on your own. You are right. If you bring a mindset of hey, let's just live with the whatever Claude says, versus similarly, as you were talking about prompting, AI suggests things, but you're like, well, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's go down this rabbit hole and let's go learn about this, or let's go challenge it here to explore ways of thinking that we hadn't thought about in the past. And so it has the potential, and we talk about this a lot in our organization, and it happened right at first. People would just say, here you go, Shawn, here's the answer. And I'm like, well, I could have asked AI to give me this answer and I would have gotten it faster because I didn't have to ask you and wait for you to bring it back to me. If you just deliver me what AI can tell me, I could do that on my own and I don't need you. So synthesize what you learn, make it your own, even if what you learn is 100% generated by AI. Like, fine, but you then need to present it to me, right? And so went down the path of, if you generate something through AI, you have to present it to me so that I know that you know it and learned it, thought about it, distilled the information, added your own human judgment, and then given me or our clients a great answer.
Yeah, my boss has a phrase that I've learned to love. He calls it AI slop. You know, because you're right. Sometimes, I was sharing with you. We're using AI in our business, and initially it was throw it in there, copy and paste it, and send it to whomever, and it's AI slop, and you can tell usually. You can tell you're like, wait a minute, this isn't quite the vernacular we use, or this isn't quite fully baked. And that's I like how you say, if you can't present it and explain it yourself, you probably shouldn't be you shouldn't send it, right? You talked about education being an often missed piece. Is there any other warnings you would give? We have a lot of listeners who are technology advisors, business owners. Any other, warnings when it comes to AI or best practices?
Yeah. So the thing that I would bring to that is, the key here is, and this is, pretty much the history of technology. Technologists love to build things. They love to create value in their own way inside an organization. Now more than ever, partnering with someone in the business to solve the problem is paramount to success of whatever you're doing with the AI. You've experienced it. I've experienced, many of your listeners have experienced. AI can produce something in 5 minutes, like 2 minutes, 45 seconds. That's a pace that we as humans can't really absorb, that pace of change and productivity. If you are running down a path as a technologist, 5 minutes created something amazing, 5 more minutes created something more amazing, 5 more minutes, and it goes on and on and on. If you're off by 1 degree from what the business wants, in one day, you're so far off of where the business needs to go that it becomes frustrating, and the ability for the business to trust you is just, you're actually just getting faster to your demise, right? Like, so partnering with whoever it is in the business and understanding what the use case is and running together in lockstep is the recipe for success. And so a lot of times, right, we used to build things in Agile. And so we'd go build, then course correct with the business, then go build some more, then course correct with the business. But now it's like you can go from 0 to 5,000 in a week or even a day. And then, 5,000 in a day, the business user can't absorb everything that was created in just one day. And then you're like, okay, I got to keep going. So now that is just, I can't stress enough the importance of teaming with the business to ensure that you're doing the right things for what they need so that you stay on task together.
So yeah, man, education, but communication, right? You got to communicate across the business unit, across the silos, if you will. Hopefully, it's not a silo situation. I love that analogy too. Having, you know, thinking back to my military days of land navigation, literally with a physical paper map and a compass. If you're going east, yeah, but if you're 1 degree off, by the time you get a couple, 1,000 meters away, yeah, you're way off. If you don't do that map check, you got to constantly do that map check. Hey, are we on course? And if you don't do that, you could really get lost and regret it, even though you're going the general direction east. But is it 90 degrees or 80 degrees? Uh, that's good advice. I think that's really good advice. I think I want to pivot to our lightning round because we're coming up. We can land the plane here a little bit. So something I do occasionally. It's just kind of a fun lightning round. Whatever comes to your mind, quick answers, short answers. You ready?
I love it. Let's do
All
it.
right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Espresso or just black coffee or a latte?
I'm a latte kind of guy.
Love it. Favorite business book?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to probably think about that one. I think it's called Blue Ocean, and so I can't remember the actual name of it, but it's about blue ocean strategies.
Have to look that up. I'll look that up. Audiobooks or physical books?
Audiobooks.
Love it. Biggest lesson you've learned as a leader?
Hire people smarter than you.
That's a good one. Yeah. I think I know the answer here maybe. One technology everyone should be paying attention to.
I'm gonna try to be nuanced on this one. Probably the hidden benefit of AI in corporate America is video, using AI in video to disseminate the information across your organization much more efficiently.
That being a video guy myself. One thing people are often surprised to learn about you.
They're usually surprised to know that I still surf and love doing all of the adventures that I
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah. I was surprised by it. I was pleasantly surprised, yeah, as an outdoor person myself, you're at next level, though. You're kinda like life goals. I think you figured it out. Good for you. So as we wrap up and land the plane, is there anything we didn't cover you wanna hit on or any last, piece of advice you wanna leave us with?
Yeah, probably the the number one thing we kind of hinted around on this, that your leadership team is critical to your AI success, and that is from the CEO to the CEO, CFO, CMO. Basically, the executive leadership team needs to be in alignment, and oftentimes that is skipped. IT and technology just start running, and then they try to speak back to that leadership team, and they don't understand what you're saying. So by far the most critical thing is bring the leadership team along with you on the journey.
I love it, man. That collaborative effort, there's a lot to be said. I mean, that's what fear I think a lot of people have with AI that we're going to lose that human element. We're going to lose that teamwork. But we can't. That's got to be critical. It has to be teamwork. It has to have humans involved. We run it. It doesn't run us. But sometimes it kind of feels like it might be running us. I don't know.
Love it.
I hope we don't live in the matrix, or maybe you are in the matrix right now. Who knows?
Right, right. I love it. Nope, we're good.
Well, Sean, thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate it. I know we just kind of scratched the surface, so check the show notes. I have links to Pisteo and more about Sean and his team. And hey, who knows, Sean? We could always do a part two down the road if we need to. So thanks again for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. It's been a pleasure of mine to talk to you and your listeners.
Fantastic. Well, there you go, folks. Another episode of The Wireless Way. And as always, if this episode hit a button for you, made you think about a colleague, a customer, a conversation you had with a family member, please share this episode with them. Really appreciate that. I'd like to get the word out. The Wireless Way, where wired meets wireless, where no strings attached, no judgment, and the ways, the path, the journey, the adventure. So again, thanks for checking out this episode, and I'll see you next time on The Wireless Way. And cut. There we go, man. I think that was fun. Thank you.
Love it.
We spend a lot of time talking about technology, innovation, and the future of our industry. We chase goals, deadlines, and the next big opportunity. But none of that matters if we don't take care of the person behind the career. Mental health is just as important as physical health. It's okay to slow down, unplug, ask for help, or simply check in on someone you care about. Sometimes a simple conversation can make all the difference. If you're struggling, know that you're not alone. Reach out to a friend, a family member, a colleague, or a mental health professional. And if someone comes to you, take the time to listen. You may never know how much that moment matters. Till next time, keep learning, keep leading, keep connecting. And as I always say, identify the way, map the way, lead the way, take care of your network, take care of your business, and most importantly, take care of yourself.